Hello and welcome to the final day of Source Gaming's coverage from E3. My name is Spazzy. I am the article lead here. With me, as always, and for our E3 coverage at least, is Mango.
Hello.
So this was the last day of E3. Doors are closed. It's done, and it was actually, I would say, our busiest day.
Yeah, surprisingly, which is the day we had like no appointments.
Right. We had one appointment. We had a big
Yeah.
appointment, and that's how we opened the show.
Yeah.
For the most part, though, we just kind of went where we wanted to and tried to cover what we could, and it was, like I said, a pretty hectic day, but a fun day.
Yeah.
And it's funny because while I'm going to E3, it's getting a little bit later, and I'm like, oh man, I almost can't wait for this to end. I'm so tired. I'm running around and doing this and doing that. But as the day ended, I'm like, I can't believe it's over.
Yeah.
Give me one more day. I've covered everything I need to. Give me a day to actually have fun now.
Yeah.
But the day started in a very fun way because we had our booth tour of Nintendo. So we got kind of extended time with a couple games.
Yeah. It's funny that we even call it a booth tour since we spent it on 2 games.
Yeah, right. Well, one game was a game we hadn't got to play yet, and we put it off because we knew we were going to play it today.
Yeah.
And that's the new Pokemon games.
Yeah.
So I, as I've mentioned before, am not really a big Pokemon fan. So I'll let Mango handle this, and then I'll give my, I'll throw my impressions in every now and then. So
Sure. So it's pretty much like Pokemon Go, except you have trainer battles. We didn't really get to do too much of those. It was mostly catching. But a couple of notes I wrote down. A lot of this has been, put out in press releases and stuff, but I try to get stuff that we haven't heard before. So one of them was like the Pokeball Plus battery lasts about 6 hours. It's still through development or whatever, so who knows how that'll change, or depends on how you use it, but that's what we were told.
What was your actual impression of it, though? Because I think I thought it was okay. The buttons were a little weird for the Pokeball.
Yeah, so people might think the button on the top is like the select or A button. It's actually not. It's the B and like menu button to select things as if you click the stick.
It's also like an analog stick. It's how you control.
Yeah.
It's how you move around. It's a little different.
Yeah, it is. It is a weird controller, that's for sure.
Yeah,
as far as moving around.
I kind of like it. It's a little bit on the small side. I like that you throw to catch things. Mm-hmm. It was a Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu was the version we played.
Yeah.
Because Pikachu followed us around. Well, no, because Pikachu's on you, and then you still have another Pokemon that follows you around, because we had Charmander following us around, which was cool.
Yeah, I like the Pokeball accessory. It's really fun, even if I think it's a little bit expensive for what it is. But it's got a lot of functionality. It has a speaker in it, so anytime you catch a Pokemon, it'll make a cry in it. And if you shake it, it'll make a cry, and things like that. So it has a lot of cool little touches to it.
Right, and the battles with the actual trainers seemed okay. It seemed just like I said, I'm not really big on Pokemon, but it seemed just like any other Pokemon game.
Yeah, pretty much. The only thing different is how you collect experience, which I didn't get all the details on, but you collect it through battling trainers or at the gym. And then you can also collect it if you take a Pokemon in the Pokeball Plus and walk around. You'll get experience as you walk around and do things with it. And if you use it for Pokemon Go, the smartphone app as well. So that's like a third or second way to get experience rather than just battles.
Right. The best part of it was that Pikachu's on your shoulder.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
Yeah.
And if you send Pikachu to battle and then send him back instead of going to the Pokeball animation, you see Pikachu come back because he's gonna get on your shoulder again.
Yeah, that was a really cute detail, and it's only for Pikachu and Eevee as your partners. The other ones will go on the ball. But something I noticed, I don't know if this only applies to the partner ones or the other ones because I didn't really notice, but Pikachu had a little bit of texture on him. It wasn't just here's a flat yellow color. He actually has what looks like a little bit of hair on him. So that was kind of nice.
It's what you would expect an HD Pokemon game to look like, I think.
Pretty much.
I also think I'm probably going to stick to just using the Joy-Con to catch Pokemon. But we didn't spend too long, maybe 20 minutes on that game.
Yeah, probably 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Right, because we had 1 hour to basically do what we wanted with the Nintendo games that were available, and we're like, just show us Smash.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it was funny because the Nintendo assistant that was there. I can't remember her name, but she's like, "Oh, you guys
Tran,
are
I
asking."
think.
No, Tran was the
the other one.
the woman that
Guided
was,
us, yeah,
that guided
yeah.
us, like kind of our host there. But I was talking about the person at the Smash station. Becca, maybe. Really, this doesn't matter.
No.
Not that you should always remember people's names. You shouldn't just be like, "Oh, the hostess, the waitress." You know, I'm not.
It's okay. It's easy to forget people's names.
I don't personally remember this person's name. Anyways. No, but she was saying that that a lot of people, like, we were asking more detailed questions than like other people. We're like, yeah, well, we're trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, we're like, does Cloud have his Japanese voice or his English voice? And she's like,
no one's asked.
That's a great question.
And so we turned the volume up all the way, but it's still kind of hard to hear. Yeah. But I did every taunt, and I know his up taunt, at least in the Wii U game, he says something. He didn't say anything. I don't think he had any voice clips.
No, we couldn't hear anything.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody else that has reported on this and checked it, maybe someone can verify other things, because we didn't actually win, so I didn't hear his win quote. But I tried for all his taunts and his moves and everything, and I couldn't hear any voice clips. And I know that he has some for the taunts, so I don't know if it was just removed or how it's going to be when it releases. So I thought that was pretty interesting. I also messed around with Link. I found out, so you know how Link shoots 2 arrows in the trailer? The way that works is that you shoot 1 arrow and it hits the ground. And then you go and you collect it and pick it up, like Breath of the Wild style, like when you shoot an arrow and it doesn't hit anything.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool because it's a nice little nod to Breath of the Wild. And you go and you pick it up, and then your next time you shoot 2 arrows.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Also, I know a lot of people have reported on this, but if you use the Master Sword when it's only a smash, right? Yeah, it was only smashes. Yeah. At full health, then you shoot a beam, in a lot of Zelda games. But it's definitely the style from Breath of the Wild, where it's kind of a circle. Mm-hmm. And I also found out that Villager can pocket that.
Yeah, Villager can pocket everything.
Yeah, we kind of messed around with Villager a little bit, and Link. So one thing we did is if Villager pockets Link's bomb, Link can't detonate it. It's not like he can detonate it while it's in the inventory.
Yeah.
And Link can't pull out a new bomb either.
No, you're kind of screwed.
But if Villager pulls out his bomb, again, Villager can't detonate it, but Link can. So Link can detonate in Villager's hand.
No, he can't.
No, he can't?
No, if Villager's holding the bomb, he can't detonate it at all. So the only way you can detonate it is if basically no one's touching it.
Okay. Was I playing as Villager for that?
I think so, because, I was trying to detonate the bomb, and nothing happened.
Okay, yeah, we were messing around with that to see what would happen. What else? What else did we mess around with?
So, with Inkling, if you're completely drained, I don't recall if we said this yesterday, but if the Inkling is completely drained of ink, rather than holding shield and B to recharge again, you just have to hold B, and it'll do it automatically.
Right, yeah, because B is the splatter shot, and if you try to use a splatter shot, once your ink is done, you'll just go into the animation without having to press B and shield or whatever. You'll just go into turning into a squid and getting your ink back.
Yeah, that's
so that you can't just shoot and be empty, which I think is nice. I thought that was a cool little touch.
Yeah.
Also, the way the actual damage percentage. By the way, the splatter shot damages.
Yeah, that's the first thing.
Yeah, because some people are like, you just add Link or does it hurt? No, it does rapid damage, and it does an okay amount of damage, actually.
It does about 2% per shot or something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's rapid fire, so it's
hard
to... And the actual damage increase seemed to be maybe 1.5% or something.
Yeah, it was really hard to gauge.
So it was hard. Yeah, it was kind of hard for us to gauge, especially because we were playing with items and other things on like that. So like I said, it made it very difficult to figure out what exactly the percentage was. Kirby.
Correct. Yes.
If you take Kirby as the Inkling with the Inkling hat, gets a splatter shot, also covers people with ink. The ink does damage, and it appears that Kirby also gets the damage increase, just like Inkling. Mm-hmm. But like I said, it was kind of hard for us to 100% verify because it wasn't that big of an increase.
Yeah, and we can't reset it to 0 or anything.
Right.
Speaking of Inkling Kirby, you can't recharge using Shield B if he runs out. You actually don't run out, I don't think.
Yeah.
I think you can just shoot it continuously.
Right.
Because then it might make it just too complicated.
Right. So yeah, I think that was it. Is there anything else in particular? Besides Ganondorf being fun.
Fox seems to have a different voice.
I think Fox does have a different voice. I couldn't
Yeah.
really, like I said, it was very hard to hear, but it was definitely different. I think it's the same voice. You got to forgive me, I didn't play Star Fox Zero, but probably the Star Fox Zero voice. The voice from the Starlink game, I think, was the same voice.
Okay, yeah, that makes the most sense.
It sounded like that to me.
Falco, Wolf, and Falco and Wolf were in the demo, so we couldn't really test their voices.
Right.
Because I know one of my friends wanted the melee voices for those back, but we couldn't test it.
I find that highly doubtful.
No, I don't think.
And I don't think that's happening.
No.
Yeah, I think that was it. I mean, we had some fun. We played some Smash. Played as Ridley a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad. It's sad at the time. I'm like, man, because total we must have played over an hour of Smash probably between the 3 days.
Yeah,
we played Smash.
We played it every day.
Right, and to the point where I was all like, oh, let's try to get as much done today. I was gonna at some point go back and play Smash again. I'm like, we played like 45 minutes today. I'm like, it's enough. But now that it's over, I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to play as Ridley till December.
Yeah.
Oh, Ridley.
And we took some questions from our Discord, so thanks for that. But yeah, after we played
sorry
it,
if we couldn't answer all of them, but we only had so much time and so many.
Yeah. Some of them we literally couldn't just because of how the demo's set up.
Right.
But one of the things I didn't realize until after the demo, which kind of sucked that we could have done, is Snake chokeholding Ridley to see what that looked like, because I'm sure it's hilarious.
Yep, I'm sure it is. So that was basically our time with Smash and at the Nintendo booth. So after that, we actually went over to Namco.
Yeah.
And we went into the Namco booth.
Yeah.
And we played a ton of Namco games.
Yes. We did a lot there.
Yeah, we did a lot. First of all, Soul Calibur. Here's the deal. I actually kind of love Soul Calibur, but I'm like as casual as you can get with that franchise. So I can't be like, I'm one of those people. I'm like, I loved Soul Calibur 3. It was my favorite because it had so much random stuff in it. People are like, that was one of the worst ones, competitively or whatever. I'm like, I don't know. It was fun. So I'm not. I don't get too into the mechanics or how it's changed or this or that. I know I was able to do some of the same combos that I kind of sort of fuzzily in my brain remember from Nightmare. You played as the dude from The Witcher.
Yeah, Geralt.
Yeah.
He's pretty cool.
So, and I won. I just
Oh yeah, you got it. Hey, we were using fight sticks. That was pretty confusing.
Just because you can't play with a fight stick, it doesn't mean anything.
I can't tell where all the buttons are.
I'm just saying because I like to be truthful and we need to get facts and information out there.
Okay, so don't worry. I'll get you back at that at the next game.
I don't think we need to talk about that game.
No, of course not.
So we played 2 different anime fighters as well. So yeah, we got a lot of fighting games in this morning.
Yeah.
Like one after another, including
we got
Smash.
like 3 or 4 in a row.
Yeah, because we played it's from the My Hero Academia anime. I don't remember what the actual game was called.
It's called My Hero One's Justice.
Okay, I'm not super familiar with this anime. I actually have seen like the first 5 episodes.
Okay,
and I liked it. Yeah, and I plan on watching it at some point. I only have so many things I can watch, and I'm very selective with anime.
Yeah.
So I haven't gotten around to it. I don't like watching subtitled anime because I can't read. I'm actually illiterate, so I'm just like no. But so yeah, the thing is, it was kind of cool because it was another one of those arena fighters.
Yeah, like
kind
Naruto games.
Yeah, kind of like another game we're about to talk about in a second. A little weird. I played as I don't remember any of the characters' names. Like I said,
I have no idea.
Yeah,
they're Japanese. It's going to be like 10 times harder for me to remember.
And like I said, I'm not really a fan of the anime. I just saw like a couple episodes like really spaced apart. What's the name of the guy that like has the fire and ice powers? Whatever. He's awesome, and I owned with him. And the way it works, actually, it's not like a 3v3 though.
No.
Because the way it works is
it's like Naruto. You have the 1 and then the 2 supports.
Right. Exactly. So I thought he was fun, and I kicked butt with him, and then I played as the main character, whose name I also don't remember, and I thought he was awful. And okay, my strategy might have been spamming buttons a lot. I'm not going to deny it. I didn't know what I was doing. But with that being said, he kept saying the same thing over and over again. It was super annoying, man.
And it was funny because it wasn't just that character. You played a female character later, and it was the same thing.
I don't understand. I was able to like switch up buttons with the first guy and change things and do like I don't know what was happening. I couldn't figure out how to do more than like 1 or 2 moves, and I'm like, I'm gonna just sit here and hit triangle for a while.
Well, the thing I thought was funny was you're playing a character and you're being beaten, and I'm still hearing the same lines if you're not getting moves in. So
yeah, whether I connect or not, it was making those same noises.
Yes.
And then we played kind of another anime fighter.
Yeah.
And that was Jump Force.
Yeah, I was surprised because they, as far as I know, they just announced it at E3. They're like, here you go, it's out.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it on the show floor.
We didn't actually get to play that one against each other because there wasn't co-op enabled.
Yeah.
But it seemed cool. That actually was like, it was also like an arena one, like the one we were just talking about, like the Naruto games. But the big difference is there that it actually was a 3v3 fighter, so you could tag in and tag out.
Yep.
I believe you had to defeat all 3 members of the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it works.
In order for it to go out. It was pretty easy to different. It's pretty simple. Like you're like, oh, this button's for my super move. These 2 buttons are for like my super move. This button's for just hold the kick button to do a crazy kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have your cinematic moves as well. So basically, the My Hero game is like a Naruto game, and Jump Force is like a Dragon Ball Z game. Yeah,
exactly. And they were both fun.
Yeah.
Not too much more to say about that.
Oh
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, yeah, the My Hero game, I think the moves took a little long to like get your first punch in, like the leg or not the leg. I forget what it's called, but the time between
leg, Johnny.
Yeah,
Sweep the leg.
The time between you press the button and when it like actually throws out the move, I thought was a little slow, and like dashing was weird. A couple of things felt off, but I'm sure it'll be fixed or altered by the time it comes out.
And we actually, or I did. You didn't get a chance to play it. We played one game.
Right. Code Vein.
Yeah, that is not a fighting game. For
No.
Namco.
It's a dying game.
Yeah. It's like one of those Dark Soul type games.
Yeah.
Except super anime.
Yeah.
Everything they had actually was pretty anime. Soul Calibur was by far the least anime.
I think that's Namco's
thing now.
Yeah.
Code Vein was good though, and the thing is, I'm not like a Dark Souls person. I played a little bit of Demon Souls. By a little bit, I mean like an hour or 2.
Yeah.
Like way back when, and I just sometimes this happens. I don't know. You guys can tell me if this ever happens to you, where you want to get into a game series, but you didn't play the first one, or you bought the first one and didn't really get far into it. And they're like, yeah, let's play Dark Souls 2. I'm like, no, man, I have Demon Souls. I'm gonna play it. And I know it's not really the same series. I'm like, no, but I want to play all of them, and I want to play them in order. And then I never go back, so I never actually get into it. So I didn't really understand what I was doing. I was talking to another gentleman there in the media who was saying, oh, it's a little bit more accessible, and the look of it, I think, is something that will attract players that might not necessarily be into like a Dark Souls game. I thought it was kind of fun, I guess. It took me a little while to understand the mechanics because, like I said, I don't play that game. I'm like, oh, this button parries. Now that I found out this button parries, I'm not dying like constantly. I need to be parrying these things. But no, the art style was cool. There's always an AI character that goes around with you. You have tons of spells to empower your weapons, and there's things you can find. So I'm pretty sure if you like that style of game and you're also like kind of the anime aesthetics, you'll dig that game. So,
and if you're not too good, you can just lead the enemies off the cliff.
Yeah, that happened a lot.
there were some small areas there.
Yeah,
I don't think
like
that was
a mountainside to traverse. Maybe not the best for a demo. I fell off a couple times. And a lot of times I'm just like, oh my god, what am I going to do about this? Oh, he fell off. We're good, guys. This monster fell off. I want to see that like in a movie once. Jurassic. Oh no, the mountain troll. Oh, he fell off, guys. We're good. He was trying to attack us, and then he strafed slightly to the right, and then he fell while still doing an attacking motion. But, I have not gotten to that movie yet. So yeah, like I said, we did a ton at Namco. I think that's it. Were there any other games?
No, that was it from Namco.
Okay. And I think then we took a break, intermission, like the Sony conference. We took an
Yeah.
intermission. What was the next thing that we did?
We played Team Sonic Racing.
Yes, that's right. We went to Sega, and there wasn't too much that we wanted to do at Sega.
No, I don't even remember how many games they had there.
Yeah, and we actually hung out with Connor Eats Pants a little bit.
Yeah.
First time I met him in the flesh and found out he's not actually a talking pair of pants. In fact, he
I'm
wasn't even wearing
disappointed.
pants. He was wearing shorts, so I didn't know what to think. I feel a little betrayed. He absolutely hated that game. He's like, I didn't want to say anything while we were in that. We were by the games with people. He's like, that game is garbage. He's like, there were frame rate drops.
Yeah.
The mechanics stupid. And I'm all like, oh no, I thought it was okay.
At least he was professional.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, and maybe I tend to forgive things a little bit more than some people. But like, well, you're a huge Transformed fan, right?
Yeah. So for listeners, this might be heresy, but I think Transformed was better than Mario Kart 8.
And with that as your background, what do you think of this game?
I don't think it lives up to Transformed.
I thought the mechanics were kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, I think these sort of kart racers are fun, so it's kind of hard for me sometimes if I'm not sitting down and like playing a lot of tracks to really get it. Because I'm like, oh, yay, fun, a new kart racer.
Yeah.
So afterwards, he's like, like Connor was complaining. I'm like, everything you say is true. I'm like, but I had fun. I mean, I don't think it was anywhere near as good as Transformed, and I don't think
No.
Transformed is as good as Mario Kart 8. So
Well, I mean, you're wrong, but we'll let you do.
yeah, like I said, I thought the fact that you could kind of leave like tracks for your teammates to boost in was kind of neat, and the fact that you can switch items was
Yeah, you can
kind of
share
neat.
items to your other partners.
Yeah, but you know what? When you're first starting it, and that's kind of the magic of Mario Kart. Even though this is a tutorial, I'm like, I don't want to read all this. I just want to race, and like, it wasn't very intuitive. Like, it wasn't hard at all. By the way, I'm not trying to say that the mechanics were easy to pull off and everything. It's just sometimes you're like, does this racing game need these extra mechanics?
Yeah, I can respect them like trying to do something different, especially because I guess what do you do for like a Transform 2? It would just be different levels, I guess.
Yeah.
Which would be fine, but I think they just want to try to do something different than Mario Kart just to stand out. But I don't think it is different, but I don't think it's better necessarily.
Is it good different or bad different, I think, is what we're saying. And I think we were going to play Mega Man then. No, we did. We went to Mega Man. Yeah, I'm just like retracing all of our steps in my head. Or I'm like, okay, and then we saw the guy that was cosplaying as 9-Volt, and we took a picture.
Yeah,
because who
pushed
cosplays as his 9-Volt? And because, it's pushed us into, like, favorite character. And he was also with a Mario, Luigi, and Wario.
Yeah.
But I want to make the point that, A, I don't normally take pictures with cosplayers. It's just, if you do, it's fine. It's just not my thing. And B, I wouldn't have done it unless 9-Volt was there. I'm like, it's 9-Volt. Come on, let's take a picture. And that was when we were getting in line for Mega Man 11. That was fun. Saw James from Way Forward.
Yeah.
Like, hey, buddy, he won one of the Smash medals.
Yeah. What a lucky
son of a-
bum.
Well, he's good at Smash.
Clearly.
Although, I don't like making excuses for myself, and that's a lie. I love making excuses for myself. I was playing as, and so were you. We were both playing as Ridley when we were doing the competitive Smash, and we got eliminated pretty quick. You actually got one round further than me.
Yeah, it wasn't even fair, to be fair, because the same guy who won the first round won again. So we got like a pity vote. It's like, oh, who got the most damage given? It's like, oh, Ridley, the one that deals like
the guy
the strongest amount of damage.
Was pretty good.
Yeah.
I was close with my NES on that second one. But yeah, like I feel like if I had really, because I didn't. Okay, I was like, I'm probably not gonna get the medal anyways. But everybody's wanted, and I didn't know how many times I was gonna play Smash. We ended up playing it quite a bit over the 3 days. I'm like, I just really am excited. I want to see how Ridley works. But I think if I had like really thought about it and picked like one of my better characters, like started out with Ness, or if we're doing damage, maybe even Bowser would have been okay. I think I could. I who knows? You know, you don't second guess yourself now.
Yeah, I don't know.
The fact is, we didn't get past. I didn't get past the first round. He didn't get past the second.
No.
And James won a medal. That's all I'm saying. Good for James. On to Mega Man.
Yeah. That Mega Man player came out. He's like, I'm winning this thing. I'm like, okay.
And we're going to transition that into the fact that we played Mega Man 11, and it was great.
It was.
It was, as a longtime Mega Man fan. Well, first of all, I finished the demo What was this dude?
Brickman.
Brickman, yeah, it was Brickman stage. I think that some people had the opportunity to play 2 stages or not, but
there's like a desert kind of stage. I couldn't really see them select it. On the select screen, we only got one.
Yeah, we only got the.
So
I don't know if
happened.
maybe that's because we both played the Switch version. Maybe the other versions have more options. I don't know. Or maybe it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is we both played Brickman. I finished it. The new mechanics where you power up your blaster or you slow down time a little bit aren't game breaking at all. But they're nice because they can help out a little bit. It had that sweet spot of, first of all, Mega Man's the right size, which might seem like a weird thing to say, but when you play Mega Man 7, Super Nintendo one, and Mega Man 8, but especially Mega Man 7, the sprite's too big.
Yeah.
And so you don't have the same proportions on the screen. The traps aren't laid out the same way, and it just kind of ruins everything. And then in Mega Man 8, actually, the proportions are a little bit better, but the physics in that game are messed up. It just doesn't feel like Mega Man. This feels like a tight Mega Man experience. It's great. It feels like Mega Man. It looks really good. The charge shot works. The slide works. And like it was hard, but it wasn't impossible because there's like 4 difficulty levels, like easy, normal, veteran, and like superhero, which was locked.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was able to make it through, and I was a big Mega Man fan when I was younger. But you know, I made it through. I think I had 1 life left or 0 lives left.
Yeah.
So it was tough. And at the very end of the boss fight, I'm like, screw this pattern. I'm just gonna use my E-Tank. But in classic Mega Man style, I went through like the first 2 phases. I'm like, I got this. This is easy. And the last phase, I'm like, I could just like slide under it and shoot him. But I'm like, I want this demo to be over. I loved it, but like we had stuff to do.
At the third phase, he like went right up to his face while he's throwing bricks at him. He's like, screw it, just keep mashing the first gun button.
Yeah, the first phase he drops the bricks, and the second phase he turns into a giant, and the third phase he's like, oh no, you're not escaping, and he turns back into the little dude and just shoots like a bunch of bricks that you have to, I think, slide under some and then destroy a bunch and just hit him. And I'm like, it's gonna take too long. E-Tank, I got that E-Tank on the stage for a reason. But no, it was like I said, it felt really good, and it never felt cheap, which is really important in a platformer.
Yeah.
Where you never feel like, even when it gets hard, you never feel like you died because there was something you didn't see or a stupid mechanic. It was always like, damn it, I wasn't good enough.
Yeah. And a lot of early Mega Man games kind of fall into that trap too. Like, you jump and there's a floating creature and you fall into a pit.
Yeah, I felt like Mega Man, and I know they're beloved games, but I felt like Mega Man 9 and 10 did that a little too much, where they're all like, oh, and here's some spikes, you're going to have to memorize this board.
Yeah.
But no, I loved it. It was everything. Like, and I was a little skeptical about it, but it was really everything that I wanted in a new Mega Man game. And he takes the Smash design. Like, you can really see it when you look at the character, like, and not the art. Like, he has like the lines that denote like the robot lines and stuff. But it's a little more like the proportions are a little more like of what you see in Mega Man when they make him more of, you know, a quote unquote anime character for the cutscenes and stuff like that. But no, it was. I have no complaints about Mega Man. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, no, it was really tight controls. Like, that's the main thing you want out of a Mega Man game.
Right.
Like, he has to feel solid.
Like, really out of any like classic platforming game. But so there, no complaints from me on Mega Man. Then you played
Gal Metal.
Yeah, which is like some rhythm game for. Which your buddy apparently did better than you at, because he said he got the highest score for the last 3 days.
I'm gonna say he's lying. He doesn't have pictures. He can't prove it.
Yeah, we have a video. I tweeted out a video if you want to see.
Oh gosh.
see the Mango Viking over here.
You should have got the end of it.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been better.
Been better than. Yeah, I'm not gonna record like 3 minutes of you.
No.
of you.
That's why you wait till the end.
Oh,
make
sorry.
me look good.
I'm not an expert when it comes to taking videos of people playing rhythm games on the Switch. But it's a game. But is it like a Marvelous game or an Xseed game?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because
it was in the
booth.
Xseed area. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't recall.
No, it is Xseed, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Regardless, it's kind of cool. I mean, you explain the game. You're the one who played it.
Yeah, I think I actually saw someone bring it up on Source Gaming, and I was like, oh, this looks cool, so I'll check it out there. It's a rhythm game. What's different about it is it's not like Rock Band or the other ones where there's notes on the screen and you have to hit it at a certain time. Basically, it's kind of like a freestyle kind of mode where music is playing and you can learn different patterns for playing the drums. You're just playing the drums with both the Joy-Cons. It's motion control based. And you just learn different patterns, and you can kind of use your own patterns as you want, and it'll give you points based off of using specific patterns. So one was like, use the right Joy-Con 4 times, and it'll have like the Harlot combo or something like that, and it'll pop up on screen and give you points for that. Or one is like one's right and one's left, or one's both of them at the same time, and you just kind of string them along however way you want. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of hard to do when everything's so loud. So I'm pretty sure I was off tempo quite a bit, but it's still fun.
The girl that was helping you out on that, she got really into that game.
Yeah.
Every time everybody was playing, she was like swinging invisible Joy-Cons, or drumsticks, like along with it.
Yeah, she's having fun.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm sure she could like kick a lot of butt in that game.
Oh, probably.
I like that. I like to see people enjoying what they're doing. And after that, I guess we ended our day I was thinking about trying to get more Smash in, but I had an opportunity to do a couple things in the Ubisoft area.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's do it. So the first thing we did was Trials, because we know that and we played.
It was like 15 minutes.
I'm trying to remember the controller. Was that an Xbox controller? Was it a PC version of the game?
It was an Xbox one.
Okay, it was either. Yeah, it was okay. We played, I guess, probably the Xbox One version of Trials.
Yeah.
We decided or Trials 2. And
Trials Rising.
Trials Rising.
Yeah, there's a lot of different names for it.
Whatever. Because we knew it was coming out for Switch, and because I never played the original. I did play the Far Cry version of it, because they had a Far Cry Trials, which was awesome, and I'm like, oh sweet, let's go ahead and like play it,
try
it out. Yeah, we'll do a trial for Trials. And if you've never played that game, it's a bike. It's a bike based.
It's a motocross game.
Yeah, it's motocross, but it's like a physics puzzle game. Yeah, because really the main thing that you're doing is you accelerate and you're trying to keep your bike
balanced
while you're going up and down on weird curves and things like that. So it's kind of hard to explain it if you've never played it.
Yeah, I guess if you look at like motocross videos where people have like tracks set up, they're riding all up and down, things like that. It's basically that, but obviously harder.
But impossible.
Yeah,
it's impossible to
pretty
like
much
actually do, and there's like weird jumps and.
Kind of reminds me of like Co-op.
Yeah.
With that kind of control, like you're kind of flopping around.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
circles.
Yeah, you got like real ragdoll physics. That, like,
there we go.
When you hit because it's really hard to keep balance, and you just like you bust yourself and fall over.
Yeah. And
there's a button to restart the level and a button to go back to the last checkpoint, because you end up doing that a lot. And there's also objectives you can get, like doing a certain number of flips or backflips, and you can use that to unlock new clothes and stuff for your racer. If you haven't seen, you can definitely look up footage. The first game's probably super cheap right now. Or like I said, the Far Cry version, which is like that except funnier, because it's Blood Dragon, not Far Cry.
Okay.
Blood Dragon, which was an expansion for Far Cry, which also is awesome if you never got a chance to check it out. But it's a game I would wholeheartedly recommend. It takes a little while to get into it and understand it and to get good at it, but it's a sort of game where if you're kind of a perfectionist and you're like, no, I'm going to keep doing this, I'm going to do this right, and you just keep doing the same stage over and over until you get it perfect. If you're that sort of gamer that just likes kind of like to repeat something until like you can do it like backwards and forward, then I think it's a sort of game that you'll definitely like.
Yeah, I really liked it. I'm kind of concerned if it'll work well on Switch, because the difference between the Switch and the Xbox controller is that I forget if it's analog, so you have more sensitivity when you press it, whereas the Switch is digital.
Because you accelerate and decelerate with the triggers.
Yeah.
Although I think you can accelerate with the A button too, because I think I was doing that.
Yeah, they repeated a bunch of buttons.
Yeah.
But
if it feels better, and you can definitely do degrees.
Yeah, I felt you really needed that.
Right. But, so it'll be interesting. So we'll see if they'll give us a review copy, and that way we'll say, hey, listen to this day 3 recap we did. We gave you guys a glowing review. Now you give us a copy, And maybe we'll give you a glowing review, or maybe we won't if the game's awful. Who knows? First impressions, though, I liked it. And also knowing the series, I have a feeling it's probably going to be a good game. And I finished the day off with the new Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which unfortunately does not include any assassin with Cappy. I was really hoping Cappy would be part of that, but I was sorely mistaken. They gave me a stupid. It's not stupid, I guess. Greek
Spartan
Centaurian
helmet.
looking, Spartan helmet with the brush on top and all that. So here's the deal. I'm not huge into Assassin's Creed. If you played Origins, I think it's basically the same game with a Greek coat of paint as opposed to Egyptian. I had fun with my short time with it, but I don't think it's a sort of game that if you don't like the series is gonna. If you didn't like the last entry in the series, I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna it's gonna change your mind. And if you did like it, I don't think it's gonna change your mind either. I think if you whatever you thought about the last game, unless you have a strong aversion to ancient Greeks or really like ancient Egypt, you'll probably feel about this game. I don't know. What were your thoughts on it?
I haven't really had much experience. I played all of 3, even though I know it's not the best one. I just got it, so I went through it. But I thought it was fine. What I noticed is that battles and attacking is a lot more simpler compared to the other Assassin's Creed games, where when you have a sword, you have a lot more options as far as attacking, whereas here it's just you have a light and heavy attack on your shoulder buttons. And that's kind of it. You do have some other moves where it's you hold L and one of the face buttons and you have a special move you can get rid of the enemy shield, or you can kick them 50 feet away. You get a Superman kick for some reason. I don't really care why. It's awesome to use.
You get the I am Sparta kick.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, obviously. Come on.
But, if you're fine with more simpler attacks for Assassin's Creed, then you'll be fine with it. We did have an area where we were attacking a bunch of different Spartans and enemies, kind of like an army. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, there's some sneaking around and some killing random villagers because you're bored and you some random Greek lady. You're I didn't mean to kill her. I better kill everyone else now. Throw their bodies into the ocean. Assassin's Creed. I forgot to mention the best part of the Mega Man demo was that if you go around and select each corner, his eyes follow it, like in Mega Man 3, which is very important. And I think the game would have been awful if they didn't include it. But that was it for the actual games that we played.
Yeah.
We did some other stuff throughout the day, and we'll talk about that a little bit. And we'll talk about our impressions of E3 because this was Mango's first E3. I've been through it a couple times. One thing, if you've never been, there's a ton of photo ops.
Yeah, I took advantage of all of them.
Yeah, because he's a tourist.
Yep.
He's like, oh my god, it's Mega Man. I want to stand on Rush next to Mega Man and take a picture. Oh man, I don't remember some of the other ones. I really want to take one with the because. It's weird because you don't want to say cosplayer because it's not. They're models that are hired by the companies and given costumes, which is different than someone who's actually cosplaying. But I'm like, oh, it's Siegfried. That's with a giant styrofoam. I never got around to it. I really wanted to take a picture of him with his sword. Some of the theming this year was great.
Mm-hmm.
The media booth for Capcom was they.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think I brought this up before, but it looked like Raccoon City.
Yeah.
And the Raccoon City Police Department, and it was awesome. The Capcom area was themed excellently. Mm-hmm. And then the Mega Man thing had the giant Mega Man statue. Speaking of Resident Evil, there were a lot of zombies, right?
Oh my gosh, there were zombies everywhere for all sorts of zombie games.
Yeah, I think it was for 3 games in particular.
There's one at the front, which was for
Dying Light.
Yeah.
And then when you go into the West Hall on the right, there's I don't even know what the game is, and I guess I probably should. It's what was The Walking Dead. There's some Walking Dead games, so there's a bunch of zombies for that. And then Resident Evil, and they actually had people dressed up as zombies. I'm like, man, I don't think that they realized there would be a few other zombie games. I'm sure they don't talk to each other about that. But it was like kind of lame. I'm like, yeah, yay, zombies. This
Yeah.
isn't played out at all.
Yeah, and there were like at least twice as many more zombie games, like actually there too. It's funny.
So we'll talk about a couple of things. We're gonna talk about, I think, some of the non-games that we saw. Like for instance, we went to somebody who made accessories today.
Oh right, yeah.
So we'll bring that up real quickly. We'll talk about, I guess, some games that we didn't play that we, in retrospect, like, oh, maybe I should have played that game. And then just like I said, yeah, more stuff that while we walked around that we saw or we thought were cool, like the Resident Evil thing. And we're talking about. Let's continue with that one. Were there any other like photo ops or setups or anything? We didn't do anything with Bethesda.
No.
And it's the second year I didn't do anything with Bethesda, but walked by and said, "Man, their stuff looks cool."
Yeah.
Because here the big like clear house that was all Fallout themed. Like they definitely go the extra mile. Anyone else that you can think of that, or any particular photo ops or anything? You took a picture with Spider-Man at some point.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Elia said, yeah. Anything else you can think of?
I punched the sandbag from Smash Brothers. That was pretty cool.
We talked about the Nintendo on day one. We talked about the Nintendo setup, but yeah, they do have a giant sandbag, the Monado, Princess Peach's stuff, Captain Falcon's helmet, which those eyes obviously are, those triangle eyes are part of his helmet. You know, you never really think about it, but you're like, oh, of course.
My head canon's broken.
There are a whole bunch of people dressed up as Soul Calibur characters in the Namco area.
One thing I
there's
forgot to
Sonic's car.
Right.
We should take a picture with that too.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, whatever. Sonic Crazy.
Speaking of Sonic, one thing we saw on the way to an interview, I forgot to check about after, was they had Green Hill Zone, like the loop-de-loop part, which was actually like a giant hamster wheel that someone could run through. It's pretty funny.
They did, yeah. Oh, man. Yeah,
Tweet out, gotta go fast because we were running for an interview.
Yeah. It's funny because sometimes you forget certain games. So let's talk about that real quick. Like you mentioned that, I'm like, oh yeah, because I was at the front. I'm like, you know what else was at the front? Spyro. I kept forgetting.
Yeah.
I kept thinking like, oh, let's play Spyro, and then it never happened.
Well, that was in the concourse hall, right?
No, I think that was in the South Hall.
It was on like the bottom.
I think that was on the bottom level of the South Hall.
Okay, yeah.
The South Hall.
Yeah, I only recall seeing it once when we were walking around.
So there was that. We didn't do any Microsoft stuff because I'm like, it's not really our fan base here, and there's a lot of other stuff for us to do.
Well, apparently they were in a whole other building, so that's even more of a hassle.
But I think it was open on Monday, so we could have checked that. Could have, would have, should have.
Spazzy could.
Yeah, you couldn't.
Yeah, that wasn't here yet.
And the only thing I really wish I had checked out that was his new Ori game, because I thought the first Ori was excellent, and I would love to do some more of that. As far as that goes, I think the big one for both of us that, and I'm not really even a fan of the series per se, but I just know that it's something that you guys requested a little bit, was Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
And I wasn't able to get an appointment with Square Enix early enough, and the line for that game was insane. if
I'm surprised that we would even be allowed in the line.
Yeah, I gotta say that.
Sure,
and you people that go as on your gamer pass, like actual spectators, I mean, I respect you. I don't know if I could do that, like to stand. I mean, the thing is, media. We're also standing in line several times for
behind other media.
Well, yeah, and there's sometimes like the Mega Man, we just stood in line.
Yeah, we just stood in line for that.
But like, I don't know, if you're going to E3, like, and you get to, because if you want to do like big games, you're going to be standing in line unless you have appointments or passes or things like that.
Yeah, even for Mega Man, we stood in line for like an hour or more.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine standing in line for something as big as Smash for like, stand in line for 3 or 4 hours, like,
you gotta
for 10 minutes.
You gotta hit the timing right though, because we did it yesterday for 20 minutes. We got the.
Yeah, that was at the end of the day, so.
Yeah. So there's always that as well. Besides that, I guess even more Smash. I would have liked to have played even more Smash now that it's over. But yeah, I don't have many. There aren't many games that I didn't hit that I was like, oh, I should have played that. Like I said, I think Kingdom Hearts was a big one. Are there any that you can think of that you wanted to play at all?
No, honestly, I think I played like literally everything I wanted to try out.
Good. Awesome.
So it was a good time.
Another thing, there's a lot of vendors for things that aren't just games there. And if you've never been to an E3, you might not know that. So there are companies that produce cell phone VR helmets and gamer chairs and retro arcade gear and just all sorts of stuff that rent out space at E3 and want you to come and look at all of their stuff. And, it's the sort of thing that I when you're looking at everything, you don't necessarily always have a lot of time for. But we did make some time today to look at some stuff from My Arcade, which is, what was the larger name of the company? Because it was...
So it was like one booth had two sides to it. I think they're technically separate companies, but they were just kind of sharing a space. One side was My Arcade and the other was Bionic. Bionic does a bunch of accessories for all consoles, Xbox, PlayStation, and Switch. And it was kind of funny in our interview because the guy was showing us all these different Switch accessories, and Spazzy's like, "Oh yeah, I have that one, and that one."
Yeah, because
and
I realized that a lot of the accessories and stuff that you see in Target, like some of the third-party stuff, is done by them. I'm like, oh, I have that because they have a wireless controller for the NES Mini and for the SNES Mini. And I have the SNES one. I'm like, oh, hey, yeah. And it's a good quality one, by the way, if you want one. My only issue with it personally is if you see it has wings like, most modern controllers do, starting with the PlayStation 1. And the D-pad's nice. The buttons are nice. My only issue with it is that it's too short. Super Nintendo controller should be longer. It takes a little getting used to. But overall, it's a good piece of equipment. I don't even remember what else that they showed us that I had, but I'm like, oh, it was a charger for the Joy-Con.
Different charging stations, carrying cases,
well,
things like that.
They showed us some neat stuff. First of all, they showed us converters that aren't available yet for the Famicom Famicom to NES and Super Famicom to SNES. So that you can play your Super Nintendo, your Japanese versions of Super Nintendo and Nintendo games on your console with importing them, which is cool. The SNES one in particular was cool because you put it into the Super Nintendo, but then you can put either a Super Famicom or Super Nintendo game in, so you never have to take it out.
Yeah, that's really useful.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. As far as modern accessories go, they showed us some cool stuff. Like they honestly did. They showed us a Switch charging case, which there's a lot of those out there. And I think we would have to really get one and get our hands on it and look at it to see if it was any good. They showed us one thing that I was excited about was, and they said, it's not something that we've been looking into that is going to like brick your console.
Yeah.
It was a portable HDMI cable.
Yeah, so what it was rather than carrying a dock around, they have this cable where it works as a dock. So it's basically just a cable that you stick into the USB-C, and then it goes into, it changes into like an HDMI cable that you plug in your TV, so you don't have to carry the dock around at all.
Right, and they had a little mini, like a carrying case for, I think there's a lot of carrying cases for the Switch that also had a battery in it, which was kind of cool and held a lot of games and all sorts of stuff. What I kind of liked about it is they had it so that it can attach to a strap, like from a messenger bag, a tote bag, or a case. Like I carry my laptop bag around with me a lot when I go to events like this. And you can just snap it on there so you have quick access to your Switch, and it has a battery in it and all that. So I thought that was kind of cool. And what was really nice was that they create these little tiny arcade machines.
Yeah, that's the My Arcade side. So I think they had some other stuff, but the main focus were these tiny arcade cabinets. It looks basically like an arcade cabinet, just a smaller one. It's like your own little personal arcade. I don't remember all the companies they have partnered with it, but they have a bunch of Namco brands like, Pac-Man, your Dig Dugs, all the other kinds like that. And I didn't even know this other company. Why don't you
Dead East? Oh, yeah, Dead East is a big classic company. And they don't actually exist anymore, but their IP was bought and is now being licensed. Like, Joe and Mac,
okay.
Bad Dudes, a lot of older games. They actually gave us 2 little arcade machines to take home, and I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit and do a little impromptu review on it to tell you about it. I got Heavy Barrel, which is a Data East game that I'm not too familiar with. I believe it's I think I have played it before. I think it's like an isometric style, like top down, like old school shooter. You kind of move upwards on the screen and you shoot. And you got a game that I'm a little bit more familiar with, which is Karate Champ.
Yeah. I have no idea what it's like, but
but you're gonna find out.
Yeah.
But the actual quality of them is pretty good. They look nice. It's like having a little tiny arcade cabinet. I would say is, I don't know the exact measurements. I could look it up. And it's also I still have it in the box, so it's hard to say. So I'm like, I don't know, maybe like 7 inches. I can't tell. Maybe bigger. It's hard. It's kind of hard.
Something
to
like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe 4 across. I don't know. I'm not the best with eyeballing stuff like that. But they look cool. We'll let you know if they play cool when we do it. And like, yeah, they had a lot of accessories. And it's not just them. Like I said, if you ever go to E3, you'll see there's a ton of things like that. You know. Yeah, there was overall. I had a really good E3. And like I said, it's funny because today I'm like, I'm glad I played enough Smash, and I'm like, no more. I can't. I'm not gonna be. I will never play that version of Smash again because that particular version, that demo, that's my last time playing it, man.
Yeah.
Because next time I play it, there's gonna be balance changes and new characters and this or that. So it was a lot of fun. It was a good E3. I think that we did a lot. We saw a lot. One thing I'll say is, when you're doing E3 and you're doing it as media, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
Because you're running around and trying to get in as much as you can and taking notes for everything and doing interviews and occasionally standing in line and, just playing games. And sometimes you're like, oh my gosh, I want to finish this 15-minute trials, game for trials or whatever, but I want to make sure I have enough time for Assassin's Creed before this closes.
Yeah, it was getting close to the night.
Yeah, we got to close with that one. Although, you know what? I think I had more fun with Trials. It's more my style of game, actually. But that's it. I want to thank you guys for sticking with us for all of our E3 coverage. I know a lot of websites, a lot of YouTube channels, a lot of print publications, the one that still exists anyways, or as many as there used to be. Cover E3. There's a lot of places you can go. I'm happy that you guys that are listening to this right now enjoy what we have to say and find some value in it. Like I say every time, if you have any feedback, please let us know. It was a good E3. I look forward to doing this again next year. Mango, like I said, this was your first one. You're done with it. You had a good time.
Yeah, if only it was longer.
Yeah,
you realize, oh man, like you'll have tons of time to do this or that, and then at the end you're like, oh man, I played everything I wanted, but there's still so much you could check out.
Now I've got to write everything and take videos.
Yeah.
do all the tedious stuff.
Yeah,
tedium. But it's all part of the package.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to not have to fly out to go to this.
Yeah.
I like LA though. It's an experience. All right, guys. Once again, thank you. I think we're gonna wrap this up right now. You can find us right here on this channel. Go to the website. For those of you that, I don't know how many of you there are that really only check out our content on YouTube, please check out some of our articles. We have plenty of people that write things that I think are mostly interesting at sourcegaming.info or source-gaming.com. Find me always at 8bit_Spazzy. If you look up if you look that up anywhere, I also have an Instagram that I use very seldomly, but you can follow me on that if you want as well. What about you, Mango?
You can find me at the Mango Viking on Twitter.
Ooh, all right. Well, good E3, guys. We'll make an even better one next year. All right, later.
See ya.